Hello everyone. Remember when I caught those winter ant queens a while back? No, not these. Not these. But these. This is my one group, by the way, that hasn't gone workers. They kind of just sat and all of a sudden decided, oh, we're gonna lay. But yeah, besides these, after a few months, most of my queens have reached workers that were fertile. I have about 16 queens in this box that have reached workers. And there's a total of 33 queens, and that's counting that 3 queen from earlier that just has larvae. And that gives me a founding rate of about 48%, which is better and worse than some other years I've had them. But you can see they're kind of sparse. You can see an example of a colony sitting right there. Just have a couple workers. But anyways, I want to try combining my imparis colonies actually, because most of my colonies have 1 to 2 workers, they're 1 to 2 queens strong. But I want them to be like this. They probably have 20 pupae in there, and there's 6 queens in here, and they already have 10 workers. So I'm gonna combine them and hope they can use their collective power to build a giant colony. And this is my friend's colony, by the way. I'm just taking care of them during the summer, and they look so tasty. Anyways, I have seen people successfully do this in the past, so I want to try too. Keep in mind, all of my imparis are from the same population, and they're caught from the same spots. What I'm going to do is use a tubs and tube setup, as you can see right here. And I'll basically have the 2 tubes right here. And then since this is my first time, I'm only going to test this with a couple, as I just said. Keep in mind, they're all freshly founded, so they're weaker than your average colony. Here's colony number 1 right here. It has 2 queens and it has 2 fresh workers right there. And then we have this 1 queen colony here with 3 workers and a batch of eggs. This was originally a 2 queen colony, but one of them was dead, I guess, and it died pretty fast. But anyways, now we're going to put both of them into the outworld. Alright, here we go. It barely fits. Alright, as you can see, the 2 tubes are in there. And they should technically be brave enough to forage. But I'm going to give them honey right in the middle of the 2 tubes, so they have a higher chance of interacting with each other. Put that honey right there. And now I'm going to put them away, and I'll see how they do in about a day. As you guys can see, in the end, the queens ended up moving together. They basically merged colonies. I'll give you guys a closer look in 1 second. You can see this tube has nothing left. It's just a bare tube. It's a little bit dark, but as you can see, they're all enjoying life now. They now have a bigger brood pile than before, so I have high hopes for them. So now they are a 3 queen colony, and they have 6 workers. A lot better than before. Anyways, now that's the result for this colony. Anyways, now that they're all merged, I have a grand plan. I'm gonna merge every single one of my queens together that have workers. Alrighty, we're gonna use this container to combine the ants. What I'm gonna do is basically lay out all of the tubes and then just forget they exist for a while. I also got this bigger tube. I'm just gonna hope they move into this because it's bigger, it can accommodate them better. So I'm just gonna leave that there and I'll stack them up. So give me 1 second. Alrighty, everyone, I have put all the tubes in there. They all have workers. I think 1 pair has a pupae, but the rest of them, they're basically all fertile. I'm gonna give them a chance to get used to each other. I'm gonna give them some honey right there and know that that's an old stain. But yeah, I'm gonna give them a few days and I'll check back on them. I will soon have my super colony. A quick look at some of the ants right there. You can see they're very fat. Some of them are fat, some of them are not, but a bunch of colonies. I will soon have a very fat colony. Anyways, I'll give them a few days and I'll be back. Alright everyone, it's a couple of days later and they all successfully merged. There's some good news and bad news. The good news is being they're all together. They're not fighting. They kind of just accepted their fate. The bad news is that a bunch of the workers died. You see 1 worker right there. You're wondering why? Didn't they successfully merge? Well, basically, I'll show you in 1 second. So basically the bad news is that the workers died because they got tangled up in like all this random trash. That dead queen was already there. So like it's basically like a bunch of like fuzz and stuff. And it's like throughout the outworld, I removed a bunch of it as I saw them getting tangled up. And basically what would happen is that the workers would like walk around and they would touch that and they would instantly get tangled. And then they would die from exhaustion. Or sometimes what I noticed was that the workers would get tangled on each other. And then I'd have to kill one to save the other one. But yeah. Basically I lost about like 10 workers to them getting tangled up and dying.
Here's an example of a queen getting stuck in a bunch of workers. I don't know how they got tangled up like this, but as you can see there's like 3 workers stuck in a larvae. So now I'm going to try to save queen, but yeah, this is just an example of how they got tangled up.
But besides that, the rest of the colony as well. And I'll basically be sending the following years just feeding them and watching them do nothing. But yeah, I'll give you guys an update on these ants once they need to move out of a test tube, which won't be for a very, very long time. Anyways guys, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day.